Hey guys, it is Amy with Crafts by Aimee. Yeah. I need to get myself shared into the group, but I think we'll be good today. I don't know why the camera is so blurry right now. That's not normal, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully it clears up in a second. So Wendy is finishing up right now. Oops. Me.
Okay, we got 1 minute, guys. So.
I
don't want
Why can I never find Beth's group when I'm scrolling through here? It always hates
me. So you guys stick around.
There it is. Okay. It is our Mystical Creatures event today in Crafty Friends Unite, which is my group. And of course, I'm waiting till the last minute to do everything because that's how I roll. Why is it doing this to me? I don't know why this thing does this to me. I'm just going to get this out of my way. So, Miss Kim started us off today at 1 Eastern, and Miss Wendy was up before me. So it was Kim's Rockin' Wreaths own Decor, and before me was Wendy with Dusty Granny Crafts by Wendy. So, Kim was working on a dragon wreath. She didn't finish it, but I mean, stuff like that takes time, and I get that you're not going to finish it because I'm the queen of not finishing crafts on a live. That's just me. But I am doing something with this little cutting board today and some watercolors. I had to go get those from downstairs. So start by opening this. Okay. That back up there where it goes. It is amazing how much sharper, I was about to say scissors are when you sharpen them with like scissor sharpener or like a knife sharpener if you have one of those. Because I sharpened these scissors, they weren't cutting well at all, and they cut so much better now. And I got those on clearance at Hobby Lobby last year, I think. So I am going to do a unicorn. My niece likes unicorns, I think. So I printed out this unicorn from a set that I had, and I think it'll fit. So I'm going to paint the whole thing with this light pink color. It's called Petal Rose. It is a chalk paint from Crafters Collection over at the Oblobs. And so it kind of cuts off, so I'm hoping that the pink will help us blend this. So we're going to paint this whole thing with pink chalk paint. No, you are not floating away. I'm just going to stick that back on the printer. Hey, Miss Tamara. Tamara is our event leader. But up after me is Miss Brenda from SMK Creations by Travis, Brenda and Travis. Whew. So we're going to paint this with this pink color because it's chalk paint. Hopefully it'll only need like 1 coat, maybe 2. Unlike my acrylic paints. And also it's only $1. And this feels kind of not it doesn't feel finished, so I didn't need to sand it. If it had a shiny like coating on it, I probably would have sanded it so that the paint would go into the wood a little bit. So I've been loving rice paper the last couple weeks. That's what I printed that unicorn one. And it's a pack of paper that I got from Amazon. My friend Cindy with Monarch Mom DIY was the one that showed it to me, and I love it. So I might put it in the comments later. Hey, Miss Wendy. Thanks, Tamara. Yeah, it's just sheets of it. I had originally bought a roll because I was like, oh, this roll is a good deal, I have a paper trimmer. I can just cut the paper to be what I need. I can print 12 by 12s, but it seems thicker, and I'm not crazy about it. So I tend to cut it up and put it in my junk journals more than I use it in the printer anymore. But I do like these sheets that I have. I like them from the busted canvases, and I did one of those yesterday. And I did one for an event during I'm just going to say during 4th of July season. I don't want to call it patriotic season, but earlier this month I did one that had a pelican that said America on it. So this is going to take 2 coats, but we're okay with that. And I did go grab this because Wendy was doing her snowman on Saturday in her Ho-Ho Heat Wave event, and she was adding some dimension with her metallic paints. And I'm like, oh, I forgot I had those because they were downstairs. I brought them downstairs to kind of see if Emmy wanted to use them when she was here last week. She didn't. Well, she might have, but I really didn't want her to. Emmy's 8 years old, and I still feel like 8-year-olds are just going to mix all the colors together, which is exactly what she did with her acrylic paint. So I'm glad that I did not do that. They were there, but I did not let her use them. So this is really just this pink is like the palest pink I've ever seen in my life. It barely looks like pink, but that's perfect for that image. Yeah, then I realized I have some in the utility room with her stuff, but they're like the basic colors. I want to find a set that's inexpensive for her to have that she can have multiple color. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about, the kids ones. They just have the basic colors, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, maybe brown and black. I can't remember. But those are definitely, I think they have just those colors basically. So in order to make a pink, you know, they're going to mix it in the pot. But if I get something like this for her, she has all of these color options. She has a couple of shades of pink. I think this one was from Artist's Loft, maybe. And then I know I got this one from the Dollar Tree Plus section like 3 years ago. And I haven't seen that since then. That Dollar Tree Plus section is so weird. I'll have to show y'all some surfaces I got from that section. I did see some of the sketchbooks back in stock. Not the one that I like, though. I haven't done a sketchbook as a junk journal yet. But the ones I got from the they were from Jot. And they're a really good size. I would say they've got to be like 10 or 11 inches wide. And they're pretty tall, too. I've shown them. I think I showed them on a live when I did a haul a while back. I could be mistaken. But I bought them because I thought they would be good for I guess it'd be more like mixed media than just straight on junk journaling. But yeah, the Dollar Tree, they had some really cool surfaces in there the last time I went. I really wasn't going in there to get any surfaces, but I mean, who among us that are crafters doesn't just go down the craft road just to see what's new? And they had some new surfaces that were similar to this size. I think they might have been a little bit bigger, but they were shaped. Hi, Gigi. Welcome. I think you might be new to the page. I am hosting a mystical creatures event in Crafty Friends Unite, which is my group. And up before me was Wendy with Dusty Granny's Crafts by Wendy. And up after me is Brenda with SMK Creations by Brenda and Travis. I'm trying to make sure this is dry, and there's just this paint up here that's not wanting to dry because it's too thick. I am planning on doing another coat of this, so I'm not overly concerned if it turns out looking bad, but I don't know why it wasn't drying. I mean, it was thick, but it wasn't that thick. I am doing a printable. I'm doing a unicorn printable today. So I have this unicorn printable that I did on rice paper. And I painted this with some petal rose. And I put that paper back on my printer because it keeps trying to fly away. This is called Petal Rose Pink from Crafters Collection at Hobby Lobby. And this is one of the bigger Dollar Tree cutting boards. I do have a bunch of the smaller ones, but I'm saving them. I'm trying to decide if I want to put this on here or if I want to, I think I'm just going to squirt some on my glass mat. Thank you. I'm doing this and I might give it to my niece. I always ask my niece if she wants something. If she tells me no, then I don't worry about it. But if she tells me yes, I'm not going to put a hanger on it or anything until she tells me if she wants it. Because sometimes she just doesn't. And I'm okay with that. And if anybody saw me yesterday, I did a busted canvas and it was a state event, like represent your state. And I made a shrimp and grits busted canvas for my mom. And I took a picture of it and I need to post it. But I went and showed it to my mom as soon as I finished it last night. And she was like, I love it. And I put it up in her, she has a headboard that has like a stand behind it with some storage. And there wasn't anything really on top of it. So now it's above her head in her room. Because if there's shrimp and grits on the menu, chances are my mom's probably going to order that. She loves that. Now, I had griots and grits at a wedding reception one time, and I had never eaten that before. It was really good. Griots are pork. I think that's what I was told. One thing I do like about this paint is how cheap it is. Or inexpensive. Because it's only $1. It's 99 cents for that jar. I mean, it's thinner than like Waverly or Folk Arts chalk paint, but I mean, coverage wise, it's pretty good. I mean, 2 coats of this and it's covered. This is covered, like full coverage after 2 coats with this. And it was only 99 cents. So, I mean, for $4, you'll get the same amount as you would of Waverly at Walmart, which would be like $8, I think. I think that's what the big jars are now. And I need to stop buying big jars because that's what's drying out. The only reason I would buy a big jar of Waverly now is if that's the only one they have. Like, I don't know that they have plaster in the little containers, and I do like that color. And next time I go to Hobby Lobby, I am definitely going to check to see if they have more of the chalk paint colors. I'm going to start at the other end. I feel like that's the end that needed more drying time. So today's event is not as long as my events usually are, but we do have some amazing crafters in today's event. And it was inspired by Kim from Kim's Rockin' Wreaths and Home Decor. She was the one that suggested the mystical creatures. Hey, Miss Ann. So we've had some people back out, and it's summertime. I get it, you know. People have things to do and places to go, and people to see all summer. So it is not a surprise that has happened. But we are going. Our last presenter starts at 7 o'clock Eastern. So we usually go later than that. Sometimes our last presenter will start at 11 Eastern. So sometimes we will have 12, 13 crafters, depending on the day and the event. Some themes seem to resonate more than others. Because I'll post all of my polls for 1 month. And sometimes my mythical creature is a unicorn. I'm pretty sure most kids wish that unicorns were real. Isn't there like a horror movie that happened not that long ago that had a unicorn in it? Or maybe it wasn't a horror movie. It was a movie with Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd. I know it had a unicorn in it. And the unicorn was black. Or at least what I saw it was. It was like they found a unicorn and the unicorn had like healing properties, but they were killing the unicorn because they needed it. So I'm like, I don't think I want to watch that. Hey, Becky. Horses with wings are Pegasus. Or they could be unicorns. But they do have flying horses that are Pegasus, which is, if anybody's ever seen Hercules, the animated movie, that's what Hercules is. I guess you could call it his pet. I don't know. His sidekick. His animal is a Pegasus. And Pegasus don't have horns. Well, Miss Wendy, that was right before me, was working on a junk journal that was fairies. And we did have a fairy theme event earlier this year. I am holding this up because I can see that some of this is not dry. But I can't see it when it's length up. And like I said, it's mostly up at the top that happens. I feel like I should use my Lazy Susan a lot more than what I do. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I do have some light blue paints out in case I decide I want to like blend the image. Because I'm probably going to use water to cut the paper. I'm really not cutting it, but like to rip the paper around the edges. Hey, Miss Mary Lou. Mary Lou is up on her event later too. Let's see, let me pull up the schedule. And I'll tell y'all all of it because I know who's last, I know who was first, I know who was before me, and I know who's after me. So we started at 1 with Kim from Kim's Rockin' Wreaths and Home Decor. Then we had Wendy with Dusty Granny's Crafts by Wendy. Then me. Then Brenda from SMK Creations by Brenda Travis. Then Tamara with Crafty Fox Creations by Tamara. Then Mary Lou with Loving Your Home Space. And closing us out today will be Lily with Lil's Craftin' Things. Hey, Miss Yachty. Hope work is going okay today. So the reason that I really wanted this to be all the way dry is because I am going to use Mod Podge to put my image on. So this is my image. And I'm trying to decide if I want to use the water to take this part off, the top and the bottom. Or if I just want to paint on it. But I'm thinking I want to take it off. So we are going to put this aside and let it dry some more. I'm going to clean this glass mat really quickly so that if any of this paint is still wet, yes, this is my cleaner. I put some of it in a small bottle so that I could clean up things easier and not have to get out my 32-ounce bottle. And yes, I have some butterflies. That's what I keep knocking into right now. In the one of the little trays from the Dollar Tree. Yes, my desk squeaks for anybody that can hear it. I'm so sorry. One of these days, I'm going to get one of those workbenches from like Harbor Freight or Lowe's or Home Depot. So I'm going to get a paintbrush. And I didn't even put water in that thing, and I thought I did. I was like, wait, that didn't sound like it was splishing around in water. It's because it wasn't. I don't like leaving my paintbrushes out. I like putting them in water. Since I didn't really swish that around, I am just going to use that water to paint the edges of this so that I can tear it. I don't want to go too close to the ink. I don't want the ink to... Yeah, my mom doesn't have Facebook, Twitter, or anything, so she's texting me right now because she doesn't realize I'm live. She wants to know what my plans are tomorrow, and I'm like, for those of you that don't know, I have a niece. She's 8, so she's out of school for the summer, and my sister works. She doesn't work full-time, but she does usually work on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. And so I've been watching Emmy this summer. But my sister she works at a salon. She does facials and hair. So she doesn't really know until the day before what time she's going to have to go into work. And my mom's like, is Emmy coming over tomorrow? And I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I won't know until this evening. See, I got water on this and it's starting to like make the ink bleed. Which is not the worst thing in the world, but I was trying to avoid that somewhat. So I think on this side, I'm going to make sure I don't go too close to the edge. I don't think it's going to matter over there because I think it's going to go over the edge on that side. I do have a water pen. It does not work. Like I've used it before, but the water does not want to come out today. So the busted canvas I made yesterday was actually in Yachty's event, in Yachty's workshop. So let's just go a little out more. Because the water does spread. And I might just use that paintbrush to blend. So now we've got this all done. We're going to attach it to our surface. And like I said, I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is so wide it's not going to stay on here, but I can just sand off the edges after I finish. So I'm going to get some Mod Podge. And I usually don't put Mod Podge on my images, but I am going to take a chance with this one because the rice paper on the back has like a thicker paper. I'm just making sure there's no water on this surface. If knowing me, I would. And I'm just going to put some Mod Podge on here. Spread it out with my fan brush because I've determined that this does a pretty good job of spreading it and giving it an even layer. And it doesn't have too much, and it doesn't have too much left in the bristles, like my mop brush that I usually used to use, because the bristles are so fanned out. They don't really have a ton of space to have the Mod Podge stuck in them afterwards. So I'm doing this because I don't want my whole surface to be shiny looking from the Mod Podge. So I'm hoping this works. I've never done it this way before. But you know what they say, there's a first time for everything. And I like to try new things on my lives. Hey, Krista. How's Disney? Okay. I'm going to hold this up by the corner where there's not a ton of glue. And we're just going to place this down as well as I can. Getting this to the edge so that I can edge, so I can sand it off. Hey, Miss Shannon from Sugar Snob Designs. So I did put, like I said, I put the Mod Podge on the back of the paper. It's not something I normally do, but I didn't want all of this to be shiny looking right now. And I don't care if you use what kind of Mod Podge you use. This is matte Mod Podge, and I still feel like it would be shiny looking. So I'm using my brayer. This one was from Amazon. They do have a decent deal on one at Hobby Lobby in like the paint for kids kind of stuff, like the acrylic paints, those paints. They have one and it has a brayer. It has a mini brush that looks like the one that people use that's Mod Podge. It's tiny. I'm trying to think of what the other thing is in there because there were 3 things in that set. And I have it. Oh, a scraper. Like the squeegees that people use for like chalk paste. Thank you, Miss Brenda. You're in California land today and airport tonight. Ooh, I don't think I could do that. So you can kind of see down here, I'm probably going to try and blend this with some of my paints. I am going to take my sander and just sand off the excess on the edges. Which is not a ton because I did kind of rip it off with the water. So I do have butterflies we can put on here because there are butterflies up at the top. I have some rhinestones we can add on here, and I have, this is metallic watercolor paints that I got because of Wendy from Dusty Granny's Crafts by Wendy. She is one of my good friends in the crafting community. I'm not going to use this anymore for glue, so I'm putting it in my water. Trying to decide if I want to use that water. I don't think I do. I think I'm just going to get another one of these little trays. I need to bring the ones I have that I cleaned up in the bathroom back in here. And I'm just going to put some, I'm just going to spray some water in here to use for my paintbrush to use with the watercolors. I don't want to stick it in that other water that has the paintbrushes with the acrylic paint. I don't want to mix colors and stuff and types of paint, so I don't want to do that. So let's see what we can do with the one at the bottom. And I do have, like I said, I have these other ones too. I don't think any of them have like a really light enough color of pink in these. So I might use this for the clouds. And I'm trying to decide if I want to use the brush that I was using before. This doesn't feel like it's down all the way because it's not. Most of the rest of it looks like it's down, but that one area did not. Okay. I'm going to use this one. We'll use it for the pink and see how this works. I don't know how this is going to work on top of this acrylic. Well, actually, it's not acrylic. It's chalk paint. It might make it look horrible. I don't know. But first, I'm just going to go along the edge where the paper is. And it is going up into the paper because, I mean, it is water. So we're doing this. I might use some like clear rhinestones up there at the top where the butterflies are. It looks like they're stars. So I'm going to try and bring this down some to the bottom. It's not going to look as dark down here because it's pink on pink, but it will look shiny because it's metallic. And these were from Michael's, for anybody that's wondering. I would wait until you get at least 30% off. I think I got mine when they were 40% off. Because your girl doesn't like to pay full price at Michael's for anything. Hobby Lobby, sometimes I will. Depends on what the item is. And if the busted canvases that I was using, the canvas panels and the stretch canvas, those were your price, so they don't ever go on sale at Hobby Lobby. But they were a good price. You got 10 canvases for $10, and you got 5 canvas panels for $5, which I think is a really good deal. Okay, so up at the top, I'm going to use a blue. I don't know which blue, but I am going to use a blue to blend up there because the clouds up there are blue. So let me see what I have. I might not have a metallic-y one that I can use. Let me see. Because that one I could use, but it seems a little dark. So let's see. This one has a lighter bluish color in it. It's not really that light, though. I don't have my actual watercolors over here. Otherwise, I would grab those. Because I do have watercolors, like, in the tubes. Trying to decide. Ooh. Let's do the purple. Let's do purple up there. And if I think it's too much, ooh, I know what we can do. We're going to layer it. Let's do some of this blue. Along the edge. And then I'm going to come in with that purple in the corner right here. and we're going to work on it with that. So I'm trying to just do it at the very edge of the paper. You know what? I'm going to turn her upside down. Yes, they are. They are watercolors. They are from Michaels. They are Artist Loft brand, and they're very pretty metallic-y colors. So we are using this blue around the edge up here because blue clouds, but I am going to come back in with that purple and blend the two colors up at the top. Hey, Miss Lucy, how are you doing today? Thank you for sprinkling. So I'm coming down by the clouds. I might come back in with the pearlescent color over the blue to kind of make it lighter looking, because I don't want it to be heavy. I don't want my blue to be that dark or heavy. But I also don't want to mix it and have it be bleeding, because it is paper that I am painting on. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, Lucy. Thank you, Lucy. This print was from Creative Fabrica, I believe. It came in a set that was called like Purple and Pink Unicorns or something like that. I downloaded this a while ago because I did a junk journal for Emmy a while ago. Emmy is my niece, for anybody that's wondering. I talk about her often. So since I don't want this to be too dark, I'm just going in with the water and bringing down some of the blue to blend in with the blue that's already here. And I might go back and do that at the bottom with the pink. I don't want it to differentiate. I just want it to blend in. Okay, I'm going to come in and do the top with this blue. Kind of like what I did at the bottom. And then I'm going to bring in some of that purple. And then we might rhinestone. We might add some butterflies up at the top. Yeah, I think I want to bring the purple in to kind of blend this line a little bit more up here. Because it's a lot of purples and pinks in the image. But I'm doing the blue because it's a cloudy sky. This is not a normal thing for me. I don't paint very often like this, but this is something that I think deserves the paint. And I might come back in with maybe like a pouncer brush or something, because I don't want it to have all the lines like it does. Let's see. Let's get some of this purple in here. Let's see if I can get some purple. No, I don't want to do that. I want to dry it first, is what I'm saying. Oh, thank you, Gigi. And the pink is basically dry down at the bottom, but I'm going to dry it a little bit more. And the blue I'm definitely drying because I want to put purple in it, but I don't want it to just keep pushing around the paint that's already in here. I'm going to come down to the bottom just to make sure that's dry enough. And I'm going to clean off the purple off my brush. And if I need to put more water in here, I can. Like this water is starting to turn kind of purpley. And I don't really like that. So I'm going to clean my brush off. Just wipe it off with a paper towel. And I'm going to put fresh water in here. And I don't need a ton of water. That's why I keep using my little spray bottle to put it in there. And I'm going to use this pearlescent white color that's here in the middle. And see how I can use it on these clouds down at the bottom. And see if I can kind of blend it with the pink a little bit. Even if I can't, I feel like it's going to add some dimension to the clouds at the bottom and make it not look so like how line breaks is what I'm kind of trying to get at. So it doesn't look like, oh, she painted that line. And it's just pink. Which is why I'm going around with the brush instead of just sweeping it across. And these clouds down here have purple in them too, so I might bring in some of that purple that I have in here on some of these other clouds that are above it. So right now I'm kind of trying to blend a little of the white in with this pinks because it's on paper and not the wood, it's very bright right there. See, I'm trying to decide where I want to put, if I want to put any more of the white on here. Like any of the white up there, but let's see, let's bring in some purple. The purple is very pigmented compared to like that white one that I was just using. I do want to kind of, I don't even know what I'm doing. At this point, I'm just doing things. I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I probably will come back and Mod Podge over this with a dauber because I don't want it to smear. And if I paint it with strokes, it's going to smear. But if I do it with a dauber, see right here is coming up because I keep getting it really wet. But if I do it with a dauber, it's not gonna pull it up, but it'll seal it. I don't want to completely make the bluish go away, and the blue kind of blended in with the pink to make its own purple. I think I'm gonna leave that alone now. I don't know how to answer that because he turns into a bat, and bats are actual creatures. But I mean, I guess he would be. So would a werewolf. Werewolves are not real people. I mean, I don't know how many of y'all have ever met a real werewolf. Like, keep cleaning that out with the purple. I don't want it to be too purpley. Let's ask Google what Google thinks. Hey, Google, would Dracula be considered a mythical creature?
Sorry, I don't understand.
Apparently, you don't know what it's talking about. So I'm bringing in some of this purple down here. You didn't think of unicorns as an option? Anything that was on the flyer was an option. Because trust me, I didn't know what all the mythical creatures were until I was looking them up to put on that, the flyer. Trying to decide if I want to do anything to her hair. I'm not sure if Dracula would be considered that. You can put a poll in here and see what other people think. Apparently Google doesn't know, so. You know what? I'm going to get a different brush to do some lines on her hair. I don't want to use this thicker one. I mean, this is not a thin one. It is a pretty thick brush for watercolors. So I'm going to get a thinner one. This is too thin. I don't want anything that's like massively thin, but I don't want something that thick. This one is a 0. We'll just use this. I'm not worried about the water because I'm using the same color. I'm still using my purple. So I'm just bringing in some of the purple in her hair. Some metallics. She's got some over here. This is kind of what Wendy was doing with her snowman in her event the other day. And she's the reason I'm doing this, because she gave me that idea. See, there you go. Alexa says yes. Kim, every time you were asking your device to turn on and play that music, my device would come on with weird-ass shit. Like the first time you asked and it didn't do anything, my Alexa started playing Creedence Clearwater Revival's version of Proud Mary. And then the second time you asked, it started playing Danger by Mystical. I was like, okay. I mean, I get that that's mystical, but I wasn't the one asking. Kim was. I'm probably going to come in here with some of that pink too, because I like this. I think this looks cool. And I don't really have any blue, so I'm just putting some of the purple where the blue is in her hair, because the purple does not really look like purple. And the blue in her hair, some of the spots, I think it just blended with the purple itself, blue itself, to make it look purplish. And let's put some purple on the flower, because the flower does have this purpley color right here. So I'm making sure that the paint is not overly wet while I'm using it on this part. I don't want it to like bleed, make the paper bleed. So that's why I'm not trying to use like a lot. That's also why I'm using a thinner brush, because it doesn't make the paint as wet. So I'm going to put some up here. Here, her wings. The edge of her wings. I mean, it was funny. Don't get me wrong. It was just weird. I was like, that's like, I don't know how many of y'all watch Jimmy Kimmel, but one time he was talking about how his kid was ordering stuff on that device. And he said, Billy said, Alexa, order 12 boxes of whatever cereal he liked. And Alexa like ordered stuff for all the people that were watching that had Alexa devices. And so he came on and apologized, because apparently a lot of people were tweeting at him that they had to cancel orders because they got notifications that Alexa had placed an order for whatever that cereal was. And I was like, mine didn't do that, but I'm thankful for that. I don't have automatic buying set up on mine. Partially because I have a niece and I don't know what she would do. And partially because I don't want to accidentally order something myself like that. So, yeah. Let's see. Let's put some in her little. They're not really bangs, but whatever this area is up here. Her little sweet thing she's got going on. And then I'm going to put some pink. I'm going to put some pink in. And I might try blue. I'm not really sure which blue I would use because I think that blue that I used up at the top was just a little bit too dark. I might try one of the lighter ones that I have. And I'm dumping this paint water in there and grabbing my little spritz. Whoops. I just hit the tray for the printer. So let's get some pink. So I'm still going to use this lighter pink. I don't want to use anything dark. But if I don't think it's showing up enough on here, I might grab another one. I might do a different pink on her hair. Because the whole point of it is to kind of like accentuate parts of her hair. And I can see the purple. I can kind of see the pink now. So in 13 minutes, Miss Brenda's going to go live. And obviously, I am not going to have this completely finished by then. But I will keep working on it throughout the day. And post a picture when I think it looks finished. And like I said, I will probably come back in with some Mod Podge to seal it. I could spray it, but I don't know. If I can get to my Mod Podge spray, I might use it. And I might use a different pink for the roses. If I decide to touch them. I may not. I might just do like a rhinestone in the middle of them or something. Yeah, you really can't see this pink one here. I'm going to go back to the white and put some white up here. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to make sure the water was clear before I put it back in the white. And since these droplets aren't touching, I think we're good. So let's bring in some of this. You're not really seeing it. I'm just putting some on. This I can kind of see more than I could even see the pink. And I'm not going so fine with these. I'm like kind of covering the wings with it, as opposed to where I was just kind of outlining it with the other colors. This I'm kind of painting in the whole wing. And because it's a watercolor, it's not going to overpower the edges of where the wings are, so you can still see them. I don't know what it would look on the purple. I might just paint it on all of them. Well, that was not what I was trying to do, but whatever. This is dry. This is sticky. I don't know why, but it's sticky up at the top. I guess because when I mix the colors, it did not like that. And it decided, I'm just going to mix myself together and make it all sticky. I'm going to do some of this on this cloud up here that is white. And I'm putting this on the blue because, like I said, I don't really have a blue that I like that I think would look good on that. Thanks, Tamara. I appreciate that. Some on that purple one, some on the blue over here. Some on the purple. I don't want to put it on all of them. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. So, taking these two paintbrushes. I thought about putting some on her. Actually, you know what? Let's put some on the clouds over here. Just because there's nothing really on them right now. And it'll help bring them out some. Right here. You'll ever have that thing where you're like, I'm not going to paint too much. And then you're like, yeah, it's like 5 minutes until my live needs to be over and I'm still working on things. Kind of got on the flower right there, and I don't like that. But once you get it on there, you cannot get it off. So there's that. Let's just outline these two. right here down at the bottom of the corner. And this right here. I think that's pretty good. Okay, now I am stopping because if not, I'm gonna just keep painting and painting and painting, and the whole thing will end up painted, and that wasn't the intention. So let's see. I do have pink ones that are tiny. I have all kinds of colored rhinestones. So we need to decide which one we want to put by the butterflies, and if we want to leave the butterflies one-dimensional or put... These were beads. It took me the longest time to figure out where I got these from. These tiny little butterflies. We could put some three-dimensional, make them three-dimensional by putting some... They're beads from the Dollar Tree. Like, it took me forever to figure that out. We could add some dimension by putting these on here instead of just leaving the butterflies that are up there how they are. So let's grab my glue tool. Got 5 minutes. Luckily, my glue tool does not take very long to heat up. I think that'll look good. And I don't know that I have any pink ones that are... I have... Let's see. Look cute up there. Okay. Get this. Let me grab it. Actually, I don't need that. I'm gonna pull out my new tool that I made myself. Nope, not that one. Where's the other one? Where did I put the other one? I made myself a pokey tool. I made myself a seam ripper with a Tigger on it. I also made myself a grabby tool. I don't know where I put it. I wonder if I put it in here. Let's see. Yep, I put it in here. I got a grabby tool, and I got my B7000. And I put this cute little... It says, Jesus, take the wheel before I run someone over. I know there's not really blue up there at the top, like in the butterfly, but I think the blue butterfly will add something to the top. I don't think it's going to take away. And the beads come in a bunch of colors. They had like a darker pink one, but it was too dark for me. It did not go well with this. So I'm probably going to use some of the rhinestones, and I'll do that while Brenda's live. And if anybody needs a new glue tool, I highly recommend this one. It takes about 20-30 seconds to heat up. It lasts a decent amount of time. It's rechargeable, and best of all, it doesn't drip. Because I have it hanging over the edge where I have carpet on the other side, and it has never dripped. So I definitely will be washing my paintbrushes. Get that out of the way. So these are my, they're like multicolored ones, and then these are just the clear ones on this side. But I think I might use these, excuse me, the light pink ones. And my friend Wendy told me that I should get one of these little things for diamond art. And it actually came with 2 of them at the Hobby Lobby for $1.99, I think. And it came with, I think it came with these. So it came with 2 of those. It came with those. It came with a pot of that gluey stuff and these to put on like as finger holders. I don't know that I'll ever use these or this, but I do like these. And I have a bunch of other colors of rhinestones, but I'm not using those. So let me go see if Miss Brenda is live and get her shared in. And those of you that don't know, hot glue strings are annoying. And if you use your glue tool, I mean your heat tool on them, sometimes you can make the strings go away. Sometimes, not all the time. So I'm going to go share Miss Brenda in, you guys, and I will see you guys over in her comments and in everybody else's comments for the rest of the day. Bye, guys. Thanks, Miss Wendy.